All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Design Lecture Series. This is our second lecture, spring semester 2024. I'm very happy. Today we have another friend of the Rome Center. We have a very important architect. His name is Andrea Debilio, and he's one of the co-founder of ADAT Studio. Again, a studio which has its own office based in Rome. Next lectures, we will have guests from Bologna in the north and Milano, north of Italy. So let me kick off this lecture immediately. So Andrea will give a presentation entitled The Science Forest. I'm sure you will like it. So Andrea, as I said, is a partner and co-founder of ADAT Studio. Following a career as a professional swimmer, believe it or not, yes, architects can do also this. He graduated in architecture interior design in Rome and obtained his master in advanced architecture degree from the IAAC in Barcelona, where he met Antonio Atripaldi. They met in Barcelona and they start their research on technology and natural sciences applied to a new form of integrated design. For more than a decade, they developed their visions and professions, collaborating with cutting-edge architectural firms such as can you hear me? Yes. Foster and Partners, Grimshaw Architects, Carlo Ratti Associati, and Mario Cucinella Architects, big names, developing projects in more than 20 countries. In 2022, Andrea Debilio and Antonio Atripaldi founded ADAT Studio in Rome to combine their creative approach, a keen sensibility to design, and an extensive knowledge of both design and construction technological processes to resolve complex design solutions in all scales. If you're interested, as I hope, in their background, their projects, and all of that, you can visit their website, which is adatstudio.com. All right, so long story short, let's give the stage to Andrea. So Andrea, thanks a lot for being with us today. Thanks for accepting our invitation. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, and thanks for the very important architect, which is a very good compliment. So yes, this is a lecture about mainly a competition that we won last summer, which is the Science Museum in Rome, which is one of the probably most important projects in the last 20 years in Italy and in Rome, of course. But first, to start, I don't know, can we see the... I would like to give you a very quick introduction of what we are, because the studio, the office is very young, but we are not. We started several years ago, and we met here at the IAAC, which is the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, me and Antonio, my business partner and co-founder of ADAT, where we had this master, which was like 50 students from all around the world. And it was quite an important experience for both of us, because it was a very international. We had the chance to engage different culture and different way to understand and think about architecture. Then we moved after the master. Antonio moved to Turin in the north of Italy, and then I went to London working with Foster and Partners, and then to New York working with Grimshaw Architects. I would like to show you just a very quick list of projects we worked on, just to understand where we are coming from. This is the sustainability pavilion built by and designed by Grimshaw Architects from New York. But the pavilion was part of the Expo 2020. Actually, after COVID, there was 2022 almost in Dubai. This is the airport, the new Newark Liberty International Airport, the domestic part. It's a brand new terminal. If you had a chance to fly to New York, this probably would be a project to see, absolutely. Most of the subway station by MTA in New York were designed by Grimshaw, and I was part of the design team. The Apple campus, this was my previous experience with Foster and Partner, designed in London, but of course the headquarters are in Cupertino in California. This is a project where Antonio worked with Carlo Ratti Associati. It's a pavilion. It's a pavilion for the design week in Milan. It's called The Living Nature, and it's very interesting because it's recreate the fourth season under a roof of ETFE panel. So they had the snow, they had the summer, and they had the spring and winter as well. Another tower with a very technological facade system where they actually can produce the food in which system with this system, and they can also deliver the products. And this was one of the last projects Antonio worked in actually in Rome, and was the master plan for the Expo 2030, where Rome was part of the competition. Unfortunately, we didn't win, so this is not going to happen. Something will happen, of course, in Tor Vergata, but this was a very interesting master plan, a very sustainable project, which maybe will be built in part, probably, we hope. And then we moved to Rome. This is a celebration. Actually, when we were in Barcelona, the Barcelona team won the Champions League, and when we came back in Rome, Roma, which is our soccer team, won the Conference League. I don't know if you like soccer or not, if you're more than football, but this for us was like, you know, something is going to happen in Rome. And we decided to stay. Actually, this competition was the first project we did, and we won. So we were lucky, let's say. It's the museum is not just a building. Where the way we think about architecture is a very it's a space that is connected with the city, so it should be also a urban project. We started, like, you know, investigating a lot the Flaminio district. I don't know if you know the neighbor in the north of Rome, to understand which are, like, you know, the components and the opportunities and what is missing, and now, you know, all the elements we can take inspiration from. So there are, like, different axes. If you see, one is the north-south axis, and then the horizontal axis, which comes from the Renzo Piano Auditorium to the Ponte della Musica, and going through the other projects, very famous projects from the 60s in Italy, which are, like, very important pieces of architecture. And this is the site. So we are right in the middle of these two axes. So we were wondering what is happening here. What are, like, all the, you know, the elements that from the nature, from the other buildings, you know, the city elements, like the river. What is happening? What we can do to, you know, to add something which is more than a building and more than a museum. So we study all the connection. And, you know, there is Monte Mario, which is this hill, with an observatory on top, which is kind of disconnected from the rest of the city. Then Casa delle Armi, like an important project from the 40s, from the 37. Of course, the river Tevere, the Tiber, the Maxi Museum from Zadi in 2008, Palazzetto dello Sport and the Stadio Flaminio, which are two very important buildings by Nervi, built for the Olympic Games in the 60s. the Villaggio Olimpico, the park of the Villaggio Olimpico, Villa Glory, which is the other park. So we see that now we have like two parks, one on one side and one on the other side, and then the Auditorio by Renzo Piano. So what can we do there? We decided we wanted actually to combine the nature, so and the city, the urban scale and the urban function of the city together. So we wanted to give the city something which is not only a museum for exhibition, but also something that we can use like as a citizen. We can use also after the operation hours. You see the Auditorio Parco della Musica works pretty well even for events, and there is the Gran Maxi by LAN, which is the next. This is actually a project designed, and it was part of the competition and something that is happening now behind the Maxi Museum. So there are like in this. This is called the Contemporary District. The Flaminio District is a very active neighborhood. It's not just about architecture, but it's also like the next Rome, in the sense that we always knew the city like for some like for the Colosseum or like for the very ancient buildings, but this is something that is really projected into the future. So we started an investigation of what we think would help us to understand how we can approach the competition. And we I don't know if you know Jona Friedman. Jona Friedman is like is a designer, architect, and also a philosopher from the 60s. And this is La Ville Spatiale, and he's a part of the radical architecture from that period. So the theory was that architecture should be adaptable, should be flexible, and all the spaces need to be easily to modify, because it's something that will change in the future, and is always need to adapt to the different needs. And so he thought that also like elevating, putting up the architecture will leave the ground floor as a public space, which is very important. So we actually empty and we leave a space where we can engage with like in a public way, leaving all the architecture, all the function on top. And also Branzi, which he died like probably a few months, a year ago, a few months ago, theorized the philosophy about architecture and the four dimensions, so the time. So how architecture and a building and a function can change over time. So we starting with the idea, because the SMET, the site of the competition, was an old factory for also a machine and other products from the early 19. We wanted to create something public, so we actually emptying the space. We wanted to have like really an approach for like an urban intervention. So we wanted to give back to the city something. We didn't want to create boundaries and to create a limit for the citizens. And because when we started thinking about the competition, we didn't have the office yet, like the physical, like we started like thinking about the competition from the Maxi Museum, the cafe. and always, looking out, and because this is right in front of the Maxi Museum. The site is right in front, and always thinking, what is missing, and how can we, create something which is special for the city, and basically we saw that the public park in front of the Maxi Museum was very well done, in the sense that a lot of people goes there, like every day, even for studying, or like taking the free time, like having coffee, etc. And it was a very important part of our research. And like similar to what I shown before from Jona Friedman, we of course we wanted to give of course we had to to follow all the limits, the rules, and the program from the competition, and we create this bioclimatic greenhouse with this exhibition capsule on top, which is part of this exhibition, thinking of what can be a museum after like 50 or 80 years. We didn't want to, give to the city something which is. We wanted to give something flexible, something that even in the future can be completely transformed in something else, where nature can, take the site, take part of the project. And the capsule, of course, can move somewhere else, because they are objects. So we thought that would be interesting in the future, like to give them another function all around the world, showcasing probably the part of the museum that was in the past. This is the site as it is at the moment. It's it's an important part of the industrial architecture in Rome, but we are plenty of these projects in Rome. So we decided that of course, the competition brief asked to try to keep as much as possible elements from the site. But there were like two different approaches for that. One was like, demolished everything and rethink from scratch the museum. And our approach was like to keep the existing wall, the existing base, and try to empty, as I said before, with creating a new layer for the museum and the park and a new terrace. The capsule, the shell, as I shown in the sketches before. So this is the view from. If you never went to the Flaminio district, you should, because as architect, it's something that is changing a lot in Rome. It's called the Contemporary District, so it's really important for us to understand what is happening there, and try also now to be critical about what has been done and what would be in the future. So this is Via Guidoreni, one of the axes that I show, the one that starts from the Villa Glori, this green park, then the Auditorium by Renzo Piano, which is this one, the Palazzetto dello Sport, and the Olympic Village in this part from the 60s, also the Stadio Flaminio, which will be hopefully part of a new intervention in the next few years, we hope, and the Maxi Museum in 2010. And this is our museum. From an architectural point of view, the building, the mass, is divided in different parts. So I said that we kept the existing base that we call the common ground, of course, because we wanted to leave to the district, to the neighborhood, something which was common from the people who lived there. And also because we wanted to take this dialogue with the Maxim Museum front that kept the walls, the existing walls as well. The second layer is a sort of buffer zone we wanted, because when we need to to engage like an old building and trying to keep them, we wanted to create a new layer that can separate the two with like a sort of gradient. And when we wanted we designed this buffer zone, which is an open, it's completely open, and a green terrace, and then the glass shell. Now the glass shell, which is still open, because as I will show you later, it's a bioclimatic greenhouse. We didn't want like a very energetic system. No, we didn't want something which is not sustainable, because we are very into sustainability and the research about sustainability. So it's different from other buildings that you saw, which has this glass shell. Here you can see the different layer in an elevation. This is the west elevation. Basically, we are in the part of the park, looking at the museum with the entrance, the entrance to the park, which is completely free. So this is very important, because we had two entrances. One is completely free, so you can access the museum whenever you want to go there, like for public function, like the cafe. You can study, and you can start engage the exhibition without paying for a ticket. So this would be like a place for everybody. We hope like day and night, but probably during the operational hours. But it was very important for us that we wanted like the people from Rome, and of course tourists, etc., being part of the whole, the whole experience. This is the other elevation for the main entrance with the foyer from Via Guidoreni, and all the service entrance for the logistics. When you have like to move all the stuff that you need to put into the museum. And this is the view from the Maxi. So we saw this. We had this view since the very beginning without thinking. We weren't sure to be part of to apply for the competition, because we were in the process of building the office, building structure in the office, but we said that this is a very, it's not just an opportunity, it's something that we need to try. So that was the vision, and actually this is the result. So, as I said, this is the public park. On this side, that would be the residential development, which is kind of part of the whole development, which includes the museum. But that has been designed and was part of the competition of probably 8 to 10 years ago, I don't remember. That the Studio Vigano won. Sorry. And this is the private entrance, where you pay the ticket, and then you go to the foyer, and you can access with this core, and the elevator and the stairs. You can access to the other function. On the other side, you enter the park from here, so it's completely free. You have all the public function with the cafe, the restaurant, the bookshop, and so this we call this like a forum, where visitors can engage the people who actually works in the museum, which is very important, because what we wanted to do is create a connection from the research, the nature, and the visitors. So you can start learning even doing to the museum without taking part of the whole exhibition, the whole exhibition tour journey. Here you can see better, which in this exploded axo. The public entrance, private entrance, the park, the auditorium, the bookshop with the restaurant, and the gallery on demand. They ask for a gallery on demand because it can be also disconnected from the rest of the exhibition, for other events. And this is the park. So you enter from the plaza, and you have this experience. It's even if you don't, even if you didn't pay for the ticket for the museum, you can start like engaging the nature. We created with the landscape designer, which is Park Nouveau. They're from Milan. A global experience about the nature. So we cut, and I will show you later. We cut also some. We wanted to create like this 3D landscape, and we cut the hills, and we create this section where like using glass, so you can actually see what is happening and which are all the layers. When you cut like a piece of terrain. This is the foyer, the on-demand gallery. Now with all these, different kind of exhibition, like a more physical, a more immersive experience. And this is the mezzanine with other functions. And very important for us is the new terrace. So basically, walking up, you can have this semi-open air exhibition, which is part of the the journey, where you have it's connected from the outside, so it's not a closed system, and as you see, you can walk and have like a new way of exhibition, because it's also like being a terrace, you can have a different perception of the space going through the park, and it's like it's an open space. It's something like this, with all the capsules that are attached to these columns, which is the whole structure. Like part of the most part of the structure is made by wood. We wanted to really find the more sustainable way to design and to build the museum. And then the last layer, which are the capsules. So basically, this is the permanent exhibition. When you walk from the central core, and then you can start all this connection, all this path here and here. And so this is the capsule system and the shell. It's this is a very important part, because we come from a different from the two different starting point. Me and Antonio. Antonio is more like from the urban scale. I'm coming from more like an industrial design and modular design background. So we actually met halfway, and this is very important, because we know from the beginning what is going to happen when you study a master plan and you think about building building a museum or a building or something. So you understand which are like all the pieces, all the way that you can you can build, and the construction phase, etc. And this is the capsule actually, and it's built and it's designed as an industrial design piece. So all the elements they can be prefabricated in the shop, and then put in place on the site. This will save a lot of time, costs, etc. And they can also work as like a plug and play elements. So basically, you can remove it. Of course, it's not that easy, but in the future, as I shown before, you can remove it and put the capsule somewhere else. This is the section. This was the experience I was talking about from the landscape, that you can actually walk through the landscape and engage in the nature, having this the opportunity to understand what is happening there. The on-demand gallery of the capsule, and as you can see, this is the landscape experience, right? What I was talking before. And the rainwater collection system. Now, this is all part of the sustainability approach that we wanted to have for the museum, where we collect all the water through the columns, because we have pipes on inside all the columns, and we use the water to irrigate the landscape. One of the most important things about this particular project is the solar radiation, because it's a glass shell, it's a glass box, and it's not easy to handle. So we with the engineering team of WSP from London, they study the annual incident solar radiation to understand which are like the crucial part of the building that need some attention in different way, because one would be like the opportunity, so you can use the solar radiation for using PV panels to create energy, and one is like we need to be careful because there is a lot of vegetation, so we need to understand what is happening in every point of the landscape to understand if the plants and trees will survive or not. And this is actually the study of the incident solar radiation of all the points of the museum. One of the most important things is, when you design and you think about a project like that, is that engineering is not just designing. Engineering and the landscape designer and of course the architects need to work very close together. So every step you take from one side need to be, understood from the other discipline. And this is actually the joint venture between the landscape designer and the engineering. Same for the roof, because we always wanted to have the maximum the possible way to the best way to collect solar energy. And also there was a study about the system from the roof, which is made by polycarbonate by 2 layers of polycarbonate instead of glass, because it's lighter, and and creates less radiation, like a heating, less heating, so we can control more the overall heating issue in the glass box. And temperature reduction for the presence of vegetation, which is very important for us. And this is the system that I told you before. So basically, the glass box is completely open on the perimeter, on the buffer zone between the base, the existing walls, and the new glass wall. So you can, you have this chimney effect. So you need to let the air going up, like the hot air going up. Otherwise, you will have too many degrees during the summer. And now we are in the phase that we are also opening the roof a little bit in order to amplify the chimney effect. So we will have like an overlapping of layers as well on the roof. and the bioclimatic section. This is explain pretty much what we are talking about. It's now you see all the opening from here, so all the hot water that comes from here can go up. And this is the nocturnal view, because it's very important for us when we saw this district, which over the night probably needed something like a beacon, no? You know, like a new light, no? A new element that can activate the area, and that's why we made it transparent. We wanted to create like a very porous building. So this is the museum. I hope you have some question about, because I'm here to discuss it with you. Again, this was our first competition. We did a competition with other offices in the past. We were lucky to win it, and now we are in the process to move forward in the next step, because we submitted the feasibility study, which is the first part, is part of the competition. So when you win a competition, you need to submit other documents to the municipality. They have been approved, and now we should start going for the design development and the construction documentation phase in the next 3 months. Well, we didn't talk about other projects that we did, because this is a very important project. I hope you like it, and we hope to start the construction in a couple of years, but it's depends on the municipality and all the political stuff.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Andrea. I think you mentioned a lot of interesting things for our students. Let me wrap up, because there's many that are important. I don't know, especially for my studio, but hopefully also for the other sessions. You were very good with the narrative of your project. What we ask our students is, please be very clear when you explain the story of your design. You see, he started from the town. He started from looking at the neighborhood. They did their own analysis, the highlights of the neighborhood, maybe the landmarks, the streets, maybe the path, the edges. You know, you all guys are doing a little bit of urban analysis in your projects. So you see, to win a competition, you gotta start from the town, especially in a city like Rome, which has its own very special character. So thanks, Andrea. I particularly appreciate the method. You told the whole story, and it was really clear how you started and then the final result. The project is really looking at the town, is really looking at the local characteristics, even the local habits. He mentioned the last slide about how to activate the neighborhood at night. I think we're all designing in neighborhoods which need a little bit of help, especially at night. So they created their own solutions to make a space, a neighborhood much more full of life. The drawings were really interesting, and sorry, please give me just a second more. I particularly appreciated the transversal, thinking. So he mentioned engineers, landscape designers, architecture, structural thinking, urban thinking. You see, so a project needs like several disciplines coming all together, not only architecture. So it was great. We are very proud, because that side needed some help from designers, since years, decades, I would say. I was young when that area was still waiting for somebody to propose some things. And I'm very proud that the local studio won, rather than, you know, big firms, big names. So we have youngers. Andrea still...
They were part of the competition, like big names.
Yes, of course.
So,
so you had to fight with the big fishes, which means that if you have good ideas, you remember also the first lecture by Massimiliano, you gotta have ideas, you gotta be courageous, and winning competitions, being able to win a competition can be really, really a good start, a kickoff of a new big dream. They will build it up, so it won't be just a dream, it will be reality. So thanks, Andrea.
Can I add something about this? Because
please.
This is like doing competition is very important in our job. This was a completely anonymous competition from the beginning. So the jury actually was the head of the jury was Daniel Liebeskind, Focke Morer from MVRDB was part of the jury as well. So it was it was quite a jury, but it was completely anonymous. This means that they don't know and nobody knows who's doing what. So they're like, I don't know if you're familiar with competition, but you submit all the documentation, the drawings, the images, etc. But your name is on another, in another folder. So, and this folder where you have your name your names in, will be opened right at the end of the competition. So probably, if you have to challenge like big firms, like a very small office usually don't have like too many options and too many possibilities to win. In this case, we won probably thanks to this way, to make competition, which is very, I believe it's very important. And the more you do competition, the more you learn, because as we were saying, the journey of designing, it's not just having an idea. It's like a research. It's like challenging issues from the city to to what you have to design. It depends on the scale of the project, of course, but it's a very long process, an interesting process. And so I would encourage you, if you start doing competition, even if you didn't finish your study, start like doing there are like several competitions, not just museums like this, also small scale competition. Do it. It's very important.
And if I may add, when you join a competition, you cannot speak and describe anything. Yes, of course, you can submit some documents that are descriptive, but the drawings will speak for you, which is another good lesson for our students. Okay, long story short, is there anybody willing to ask a question? Andrea is here for you, so if you're curious about anything, we still have time. Now I have the microphone, so you can use it.
Could you talk about the kind of cylindrical tube exhibition space? I'm really kind of curious how the circle shape works with art.
You mean the space?
The tube.
Can I? Let me see.
I was also very curious about the sphere. It was also very shiny, and I was like, oh, what's inside? Yes.
This one. Well, come si chiama? Dio santo. No, sì, dove fanno vedere tutto lo spazio. Planetarium.
Planetarium.
Okay, so this is a planetarium. It's not like a cylindrical. It's a planetarium, and actually, it's interesting because when in my previous experience at Grimshaw, they won. I wasn't part of the project, but they won, and they built a museum, the Science Museum in Miami. So if you go to Miami, you can see the Science Museum by Grimshaw, which is pretty nice. And they had the planetarium, and it's something that I really wanted to put in our because it's part of the. It's not just history and elements or like research, etc. It's also the experience that you want to live when you're there, and also this can be used even like without doing the complete journey of the exhibition, after when we won, some people from the scientific team that actually wrote the brief for the competition, they said, "Wow, this was a very good idea because we have one in Rome. We don't publish it like too much, but it's very important, and this is very. It was like a very good. It was a very good idea." Leo, sì. I don't know if you ever went to the planetarium at the Eur in the south of Rome. Me neither, but I have to because I need to know. And now that we need to go deeper in the let's say the design and the construction phase, we need to understand and investigate better what it's how it works. Because I mean we know how it works, but we need to be more precise.
Okay, great.
Any question about how much it would cost a museum like this, or like I don't know, no, like this, like doing all the questions, whatever. There's no like. Okay, this is a very good. This is a very good question. So let's say that the competition said that the overall cost of the museum would be around the construction. I mean, like the construction of the building would be around 45 millions. The overall development would be around 70 million euros. It's important in a competition that you do all this parametric estimate to understand the cost. But this is the scale. I mean, like in abroad, like in not in Italy, but like in US, for instance, something like this will cost much more, because it deserves to. Deserves to have like a bigger budget, but we need to stay really in that range.
And so the next question would be, who's going to pay? The municipality?
Who's going to pay? Well, as I said, this is part of the residential project, the residential development, which is right next to the museum. Actually, this comes from when you do like a development for residential stuff, you need to give something back to the city, like something public. It's part of the municipality asks you to do, and they decided, okay, we are missing like a proper science museum in Rome, so this could be the idea. I would say a proper because we have a lot of science museum in Rome, like very small, like with different topics. And they wanted to create this, they wanted to put everything in this central hub. So they decide to do this. So part will be paid by the municipality of Rome, and part will be paid by Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, which is the owner of the whole area.
That's great.
There's another question.
Oh, yes. I must give you the microphone.
So I was wondering, you said competitions are very important. I was wondering how that's sustainable for a firm and what projects you guys are working on.
It is not.
Okay, that's what I was assuming.
No, well, that's really an important question. And it's something that you have to deal, and we are dealing. Because you can, I mean, if you're young, you can you can start like doing like small competition. We did a lot of competition in the past, now when we were young at the university. When you have an office, if you don't win, you won't get paid. So you learn a lot. You learn a lot. So at some point you will win something, but it's very expensive. So the best way is to going in parallel with competition and projects that are paid actually. But we started with this, so it was, it was a risk, but it was important for us to participate. You need to find the right balance.
Can we also say that when you participate in a competition, even if you don't win, your name will start circulating at least the whole country, which means it is advertising also. New clients come and call you. You remember what Massimiliano said last time? You don't need to win. It's, well, of course, if you win,
things change.
Yes, your life will change, yes. But it's part of it must be an investment on your image.
Well, they did a very interesting exhibition for the whole competition. So there were all the proposals, not just our proposal. There were 70 different proposals, and they did it at the Acquario Romano, which is the headquarters of the.
It's difficult to coordinate.
The architects.
Firm club, let's say.
So they are trying, to promote the competition way, the competitions, and it was nice not to see all the other projects. So there was a Björk Ingels, there was Noeta, there were lots of bigger firms than us. Here we are.
All right, maybe we have time for one more question if somebody's interested in some things. Yeah. No? Okay. Yes. Ooh. You must use the mic.
How long did it take you to design this project, or how long did you have?
Right. Okay. So this was it's good. It's a good question because the competition was divided in two parts. So the first we were 70 offices applied for the competition. So there were, and then the 5 of them were selected. We were shortlisted together with other 4 teams. Was always anonymous. So we started probably in December 2022, right? Yes. So more or less 7 months or something, because we won in July. So it was a long process. It depends. It depends also how long it takes between the 2 stages, the two phases. And the first phase was very challenging for us because you need to start from scratch and the idea. But the second one, we had to produce a lot of materials. We did 10 boards A0 with everything. These are just a very quick list of images and drawings that we did. It was very challenging, and 7 months are a lot. I would suggest you start from something easier.
But what did you win?
What?
What did you win?
Well, we
Nobody
won a prize.
asked.
We won the first prize. So it was paid. It was quite. It was okay in the sense that we had to produce the feasibility study. So in the prize it was 150,000 euros. We had to produce a lot of materials for the municipality, so it was good. It was good for us, of course, but sometimes private project give you something more. But the best things we want is just the opportunity to go for the next phases, which are the design development, the construction, documentation, and building the museum. So it's not just about money. It's for us it's about a lot of things.
Yeah. That's the most important part of the story. Yeah? All of what comes next. Va bene. Okay, I think it is time for us to close this design lecture. So, Andrea, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Grazie.
Thanks again for being here. We meet March the 6th. So there will be a little bit of a break, and we will have another very interesting lecture. So bye, everybody. See you next time. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you, guys.